What the? Punch? This is useless. Don't go laughing at me. Not after what you just did, you filthy piece of... Hello everybody! My name is Bloody Elevator, and welcome back to Spire Nights. So today, we're going to be crafting the Electron Vortex. After getting my butt whooped enough times in Lockdown and Blast Network, with a little bit of luck and some help from some boosters, of course, we managed to earn nearly 800 Cogmos. Those Blast Network and Lockdown videos that I upload every week aren't for nothing. I'm still grinding for Cogmos to this day, and use it to showcase what's to happen and what has happened recently for us in game. Anyways, here it is, the Electron Vortex. This nifty little weapon will soon be added to our arsenal. But first we need the recipes of the previous versions of it, like the Electron Bomb and the Electron Charge. And that should be all that we need. 300 Cogmos total for the full set of Electron Vortex recipes. This definitely does get expensive, meaning that we'll have to keep grinding Cogmos by playing Lockdown and Blast Network for quite a while. But even if we do manage to collect a total amount of 1500 Cogmos, or I guess in this case 1200 now, since we just bought the Electron Vortex recipe set, even if I get all the Cogmos that I need to purchase all the recipes, I'd still play Blast Network and Lockdown every now and then to help aspiring players eventually earn their Cogmo recipes. But for now, let's learn our Electron Vortex recipes and work towards the whole recipe line so that we can eventually add a new weapon to our arsenal. Now let's go and craft the first part of the Electron Vortex, the Electron Charge. Alright, let's go take a look at our new toy. So the main reason that we're making the Electron Vortex is because it's apparently great for crowd control. Or rather, it's great for bunching enemies together and allowing you to perform a strong charge attack like a sword charge or a magnum charge. This could be very useful for us in the shadow layer, if we use it correctly, that is. So as usual, let's go and test this thing out in the arcade. What could be a better place to test out the Electron Charge than the first part of the Royal Jelly Palace? So we're going to be using the Electron Vortex here a couple times in order to bunch up enemies and perform a charge attack with our Combustor and our Winter Grave. So here's the first one with the Electron Charge combined with the Combustor Charge. That was pretty decent. Now, let's try out the other side with our Winter Grave. Hopefully the fact that the freezing effect of the Winter Grave charge won't affect the overall damage of this experiment. Okay, now I'm kind of curious on how different that would be if we use something like an Iron Slug instead of the Winter Grave. But we don't have one right now, so oh well. Anyways, that wasn't too bad. Now that we have the Electron Charge up to level 4, we just need to heat this thing up and upgrade it to an Electron Bomb. They need a +1 for Lockdown. Don't tempt me. I've got to upgrade this thing. Once I've gotten this thing fully upgraded and its level maxed out, then I'll let them tempt me with another round of Lockdown, or Blast Network, or whatever they feel like doing. For now, we've got to upgrade the Electron Charge here to an Electron Bomb, after we unequip it, of course. And there it is, our new Electron Bomb. We're about halfway there before we can finally get our hands on an Electron Vortex. Now we just gotta heat this thing up to level 10. Let's head back to the arcade. Let's test out our new Electron Bomb in the one place that you're very likely going to see other players use their Electron Vortex, at the Firestorm Citadel. Now we just use our new Electron Bomb to round him up and hit him with a combustor charge. That was great. One more time. This time, let's try it with a Blitz Needle. Ooh, we were saved by the Electron Bomb. Once more, combustor time. Wait, how did you... Oh, saved again, by the Electron Bomb. My reflexes might have been a bit slow there. I'd better work on that before I do my thing at the Shadow Lair. Normally we would get like a double level up every now and then, but in this case, leveling this thing up was kind of a pain, because we didn't get a single double level up while leveling this thing up, so it might have taken a bit longer than usual to heat this thing up. At last, our Electron Bomb is finally up to level 9 now. We can now begin crafting the actual Electron Vortex that we've been working towards. Now that we're back in Haven, let's make our Electron Bomb a level 10 weapon now. With that out of the way, let's unequip it, and finally make our new Electron Vortex. Oh, not again. Quick, to the auction house. With our newly found Storm Chaser, we can finally craft our Electron Vortex. Here we go. And there we have it, our new Electron Vortex. Let's equip it and give this thing a test run. But first, we got a glowing forge prize box from heating this thing up. The reason I need to open this thing is because they usually contain a UV ticket for us to add on to our new Electron Vortex. So just for now, instead of going to the arcade, we're going to be heading to the bazaar in order to add a UV onto this thing. Hooray! Now that we are at the bazaar, we just need Punch here to give us a good UV. Hopefully, it's something good. What the? Punch? This is useless. Don't go laughing at me. Not after what you just did, you filthy piece of... Ugh, whatever. We got a UV at least. It's not that great for what we need it for, but it's something, I guess. Anyways, let's go test drive this thing now. To the arcade. Originally, I was going to use the Electron Vortex on the last part of the first level of the Firestorm Citadel, but then I remembered that the second part of the Firestorm Citadel has a really neat part where we can really put this thing to the test. So if we're going to do a test drive on the Electron Vortex, we might as well pull out all the stops and go ballistic. So far, so good. We just use this thing to punch up all the enemies and give them a good combustor charge. This is perfect. It's exactly what we needed. Ooh, that one was on me. I didn't realize that a zombie was about to unleash their breath attack there. Almost done. Oof. Missed the timing on that one. Let's try that one again. Oh, and we were saved by the Electron Vortex. The Electron Vortex is fantastic. If you use it correctly, that is. And not make a mess of it, like I just did a couple times here. Oh well. Time to go heat this thing up to its max level. I'll let you know when that happens. If you enjoyed this series, then please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if possible, share this video. It would really help out the channel. And that's all I have to share with you for now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching.